Y'all know how Am I the Assholes work. I'm gonna read to you in my buttery soft radio voice, and then we're gonna decide whether or not OP is indeed the asshole together. Okay? I, 57 female, don't want to take care of my grandkids or watch them like my daughter, 32 female, wants me to do. I have two children and was a stay-at-home mom. Times were different then, and I mainly had kids because it was a socially acceptable thing to do, and not because I specifically wanted them. We're already okay. I was still a good, not perfect, mom to my kids and gave it 100%. One of my children had mental disabilities, and it took until he was 35 for him to be able to live independently and make money without us watching over him. So I felt like I only recently have been able to stop being a full time parent since my kids were born. I finally have the time and ability to pursue hobbies and travel and get back to working and just relax. And I love it. My daughter is about to give birth in a few weeks and keeps talking about how she wants me to come stay with them for a few months, helping with childcare when she and her husband return to work, and to take care of the children so they can get breaks on the weekends or for short weekend/week-long trips. No, sorry. I have zero interest in being that kind of grandparent. I'm happy to have her come over with her children and have her watch over them and to show up for big occasions and spoil them. But I've finally been able to make time for myself and don't want to be responsible for caring for young children the way my daughter wants me to. She says I'm being selfish and not considering her needs and that I don't love my grandchild. I'm already, I'm Okay. She says it's a lot more difficult to raise children now than it was when I was a new mother because of the economy, and that it takes a village to raise children. And I just can't decide I don't want to be in the village. Ah. She said all her friends' parents help out, and I should be happy to have grandchildren and should help out too, and that she needs and deserves breaks. How do we move past this? I accept and understand that things are more difficult these days, but she maybe shouldn't have kids without thinking through childcare and daycare and nannies. If she had planned to have me take care of the children for a certain number of hours or weeks, she should have checked before deciding to have children. That is written like a question. She should have checked before deciding to have children. I had zero help raising my children, and while I want my daughter to have more support, I'm too tired and burnt out to be able to provide that kind of support. Am I the asshole? A couple things here, okay? One, you're not entitled to have your parents watch your kid ever, ever, for any reason, ever. Is it nice? Yeah. Is it great to have grandchildren who want to be attached to, or sorry, to have grandparents who want to be attached to their grandchildren? Yes, but it's not their responsibility at all. You chose to have a child. They already raised their children. That was you. Okay. You're choosing now to have a child and you want her to also raise them. And then you're like guilting her into it by being like, well, all of my friends' parents help with their children. It takes a village to raise a child. And you're not wrong, but you can't use that as a way to guilt your parent. Girl, girl, girl. All right. So I saw a lot of not the assholes. I agree. Because honestly, she and I would have had to fight. The moment she said, but all of my friends' parents help. Nope, get out. Get out. Take your kid with you. Okay, next one. Am I the asshole for telling my sister in law that no one in our family is named Stephanie? I can't figure out if I did anything wrong. Or if so, what? Because I honestly have no idea what's going on. Hopefully, someone here can give me a clue. Here's the relevant info as far as I know. Okay, before we jump into this, right? Okay, am I the asshole for telling my sister in law that no one in our family is named Stephanie? Ooh, my first thought is sister in law's husband is trying to name their newest child Stephanie. And it's on like a Ned Fulmer Try Guys type thing where, I mean, not Ned Fulmer. Who's the guy? The guy from that band, Maroon 5. What's his name? Adam Levine type thing where he wants to name the child after his mistress. That's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. My brother and his wife are expecting their first girl after two boys. I love Ricky and Jace, and so does my sister in law. But she has always wanted a girl and is very excited to be having one. She also wants to name the girl Chloe. She loves that name. My brother hates the name Chloe and wants to name their daughter Stephanie. They have been arguing about it for a few weeks since finding out the gender. I go to my parents' house late last night, and my sister-in-law was the only person still awake. We talked for a little bit, and she asked me the weirdest question. She asked me if I knew any stories about great aunt Stephanie. I was so confused. I literally said, "Who?" Sister-in-law clarified that she was talking about our grandmother's older sister that died when grandma was a little girl. Our grandma had two sisters, but their names were Judy and Lynn. There's no one in our family named Stephanie. He is trying to name this baby after his mistress. I just know it. I just know it. There's no one in our family named Stephanie, as far as I know. I told as much to my sister-in-law. She changed the subject after that, and we soon went to bed. This morning, my brother and his wife were both sulking during breakfast. Even the kids could tell. Ricky kept saying, "Stop being grumpy on Christmas." So it wasn't just my imagination. I got my brother alone and confronted him. He snapped at me for meddling and told me to stay out of his marriage. Bro. My brother is pissed at me, and my sister-in-law won't even talk to me. I'm afraid to say anything to my parents and drag them into this, especially since I don't know what this is. Either my grandmother had a secret sister that I don't know about, but my brother does for some reason, or my brother lied to his wife to convince her to name their baby Stephanie. Both options seem equally weird to me. Maybe there's a third possibility I'm not seeing? Reddit. Am I the asshole? If so, please explain to me why. I don't want to be the reason Christmas is ruined. Not y'all need to leave them messing up the vibes. It's giving the husband lied. That's what I'm saying. It's giving the husband wants to name the baby after like a mistress or something. Why is he so stuck up on the name Stephanie? No, she's not the asshole. I don't think she's the asshole either. Because you can't expect someone to be complicit in lies that you haven't informed them about, okay? If you're going to say, we have an aunt named Stephanie, you have to inform your sister, okay? Because at some point, your wife and your sister are going to have a conversation, and your wife is going to ask about your great aunt Stephanie, and your sister's going to be like, who the fuck is that? If you want people to be complicit in your lies, you have to loop them in, okay? Sounds like a child himself. No, for real. Okay, there are some comments. I mean, she's not the asshole because if you don't clue them in, then you chose this. That's what I'm saying. First comment says, not the asshole. How can you be expected to keep track of other people's fibs that you know nothing about? That's what I'm saying. If you gonna have me be part of the lie, you gotta let me know that we lying, friend. And are there only two names these people know? Are these the only two names these people know? They both clearly like the E ending. So what about anemone? Did this person just... Did she just suggest anemone as a name? Okay, anemone. He lives in an anemone. In an anemone. I don't... Okay. All right. All right. And then OP commented and said, my brother thinks Stephanie is the perfect name and hates any suggestion that isn't that. He picked Ricky and Jace's names also, so my sister-in-law feels it's her turn. And I'm somewhat inclined to agree, even though it isn't my place to say so, to pick, and my brother should accept what she likes. I agree. If he picked the boys' names, how come she can't pick a name? Anemone. Okay, another comment says, yikes, your brother sounds pretty controlling and manipulative, to be honest. Why does he get to decide all the kids' names? And OP commented, well, to be fair, his wife also liked the name Richard. So that was sort of a mutual pick, even though he suggested it. But she counts it as his pick, and he says they decided mutually. For their second son, he really, really wanted to name him Jason. And she thought it was a fine name, so she just went with it. But she's way more passionate about Chloe than she was about any of the boy names she suggested when pregnant with Jace. Just let her have Chloe. Like, what's the problem? Like, what's the problem? Oh. Okay, this comment says, your brother is a comics fan, right? Is he by chance a big Batman fan? Because I'm seeing kind of a pattern with these names. Whose name? What are the names? What are the kids' names? Richard and Jason. Richard, Jason, and Stephanie. Are they Batman people? I don't watch Batman, but is there a Batman character named Stephanie? Who is it? OP said, yeah, big time. How do you know? And somebody else commented and said, let's just say if this baby had been a boy, he would have suggested Tim. Who are these people? Who are these people from Batman? Somebody do a Google for me. I need somebody to do a Google. Richard, Jason, Stephanie, and Tim. Are those Batman characters? The boy names are the names of Robin. No, shut up. He's trying to name his kids after Robin from Batman. Shut up. Nuh-uh. 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 Okay, so after the oh my gosh, after the comment that says, let's just say if this baby had been a boy, he would have suggested Tim. OP comments, that was the name he wanted if they were having a boy. How did you know that? I'm freaking out. What's going on? What is going on? Okay, shut up. This comment says, these are all the names of former Robins, as in Batman and shut up. Richard Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, and Damian Wayne. OP said, I'm going to confirm this on Wikipedia, but if you're right, and I can't imagine why you would make that up, my brother is about to be in so much trouble. Why would he do this? Why would he do this? Hello, Nay. Why would he do this? So you really childish for real, for real? No, for real. No, for real. A child. Okay, we've got an update from OP. Update. Most awkward Christmas Eve dinner ever. Gotta keep this short. Lots going on. Everyone now knows what my brother was doing with the kids' names, except his kids, obviously. So you're telling me that he has been naming his children after comic book characters. Is he Batman? Does he see himself as Batman? And these are all his little Robins? I don't know if I find this cute or weird. I don't know how I feel. They are pissed. Weirdly, my mom is the most pissed. A Christmas truce is in place for the kids, so no fighting on the holiday. However, the baby is definitely going to be named Chloe. My brother very quickly backed down when my mom said some few choice words to him. The topic is completely banned for the rest of festivities, so for now at least, they've tied a bow on the situation. I don't know if I find it cute or sick. I'm not sure. It could be cute if he had looped his wife in, right? Like if his wife knew that we were naming the kids after Robins, after sidekicks. Not even the heroes, but the sidekicks. And she was cool with it. But the fact that he was doing this on a sneak, that he was doing this on a low. Okay, we got another update. Basically, she was really surprised and angry. My brother said he thought it was cute and funny and would have told her once they were done having kids. I would have two-pieced this man in his mama kitchen. In his mama kitchen, I would have two-pieced him. I would have poofed his shit. When we're done having kids, you want to clue me in on how you decided their names? I'm getting a divorce. Mom went off on him and called him a permanent adolescent that she failed to raise to adulthood. Mom is in here spitting bars. They really hurt my brother's feelings. He deserved it. And my dad stepped in and said no fighting during Christmas for the kids. So everyone agreed to table the discussion until after festivities. But my mom said my brother and sister-in-law are naming the baby what sister-in-law wants, because after brother's stunt, he lost the right to have a say. He reluctantly agreed. Turning in now. Hopefully there's no, or at least less tension tomorrow. I would have two pieces, man, and a biscuit, okay? He would have had to go. He would have had to go. Is his name Bruce Wayne? Like, I wonder if his name is Bruce. I need to know if his name is Bruce. Is his name Bruce? I need to know. All right, we've got another. Okay, this one is about Elf on the Shelf. I read this one actually, and I'm just curious to see how y'all feel about it. I want to see if you have the same visceral reaction that I had when I read it. If you have kids around and you guys do Elf on the Shelf, maybe don't listen to this part because I'm going to ruin the magic, okay? Am I the asshole for throwing away the Elf on the Shelf and ruining Christmas for my kids after my husband's prank? For context, this year was the first time we would try Elf on the Shelf with our kids. We have 3 kids, Lucas, 9, Andy, 8, and Claire, 5, where Lucas and Andy are from our past relationships. However, Miles, my husband, male 37, has accepted Andy as his, and so did I, female 35, with Lucas. Okay, so it's a nice, cute, blended family. Everybody loves everybody. Every Christmas is special for Andy. Okay, Andy's the 8-year-old. His birthday is on December 24th. His dad started a tradition where Santa would consider him a kid of Christmas, so he feels magical and special. I always try to give him that. Last year, I left Santa Claus footsteps, ate a carrot and grass he left for Rudolph, stuff like that. That's very cute. My husband doesn't think it's a good idea I do all this for him. That's a red flag, and says I'm showing favoritism. That's a red flag. So we should shut it down because of my ex's decision to create a tradition without considering my other kids' feelings. I disagree since I do consider the three of them. Okay, hold on. So she's like leaving footprints from Santa and like taking a bite out of a carrot and out of some grass, which is dedication, sis, to make it look like the reindeer ate as well. And saying that this is something special that happens in this house because Andy is a child of Christmas. That's still special for Lucas and Claire. So I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding. I already don't like the husband. Okay, I already don't. I'm gonna reserve. I'm gonna reserve my feelings until we finish the story. Where were we? I disagreed since I do consider the three of them, but he asked if we could do something else, like Elf on the Shelf. I had no problem with it, but I didn't know how that works. He explained to me quickly and said he was the one, and since he was the one who offered, I let him do it. We bought the cute elf. My kids named it Bob. This is very creative, kids. Well done. Well done. Later, my husband explained to them that they should behave and never touch or hold Bob if they don't want it to be naughty. That's not how Elf on the Shelf works, is it? Do y'all have elves? Because, okay, I'm pretty sure the way the Elf on the Shelf works is no, you're not supposed to touch it, for sure. You're not supposed to pick it up. The idea is that it reports back to Santa your behavior throughout the day. So you just need to be good. I don't think that it's not supposed to be naughty if you're not good. But okay, it's not my house. Not my house. It's not my house. At first, it was cute to see them spy on Bob, try to see it fly each night. Andy was the most excited of all. I found him one night talking with it, asking if Santa still remembered him. Oh. But my husband took seriously the behave or Bob will be naughty part. Lucas was his first victim after he didn't do his chores. The next day, his face was drawn on with Sharpie markers. You drew on my kid's face with a Sharpie? I'm sorry. I'm feeling things in my chest. I'm just gonna keep reading. Then Claire's the baby. Claire's 5. Okay, she's 5. Who touched Bob? Her favorite onesie was destroyed. Apparently, Bob had cut some pieces of it while she was sleeping. I just, I don't believe this is a real story. This is crazy. He cut the baby's pajamas because she touched a doll? Was she wearing the pajamas? Okay. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Miles was having fun. Miles is the dad. Miles was having fun, but I could see my kids weren't. I talked to him about how we should lower the pranks. He agreed, but wanted to catch Andy since he hadn't broken any rules yet. I told him that Bob's supposed to tell Santa instead of being naughty. That's what I thought. We argued, but he finally agreed. Fast forward, it's Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is Andy's birthday. Okay, remember that. He was born on the 24th. And in the afternoon, we had some of Andy's friends over to celebrate his birthday. So the kids were playing in the backyard, but my husband looked sus. That's a red flag. I decided to look for Bob. It was supposed to be in the kitchen, but it wasn't there. And I asked Miles where it was, and he told me he had no idea. I started to get paranoid, but Andy asked me if we could cut the cake already. I put my best face on and went for it. The cake was in a box, and when Andy opened the box, he started crying. I took a look. I take a look, and the cake is ruined. Bob is covered in it, appearing as if he had been eating the cake. Half of the cake wasn't there anymore. Miles starts laughing, and so did some of the other parents. Everybody would have to get out of my house. Everybody with a smile on their face would have to get out immediately. Immediately. My blood is boiling, and I grab Bob and throw it in the trash. Then I grabbed Miles. We have a terrible argument. He calls me an asshole for what I did to Bob, that I've ruined it. How are we supposed to keep the magic with our kids if I wasn't supposed to touch Bob? She doesn't even finish with an am I the asshole question here. But the original question was, am I the asshole for throwing away the elf on the shelf and ruining Christmas for my kids after my husband's prank? No, no, you were not. Throwing the elf in the trash and letting that be it is your husband getting off light at this point, because the way that the knife that I had to cut the cake might have ended up in his foot or, you know, in his hand somewhere that wasn't going to kill him, but that was going to hurt a whole lot. It's his birthday. It's his. We have some edits. Let me catch up in the chat. Stab him. Queen Ate, me and you were the same person, because girl, scissors around a child while sleeping. I don't know that she was wearing the pajamas at the time. Like, maybe the pajamas were in a drawer and she went to go get them the next night and they were cut up. I don't know. Hopefully that's the case. I'm gonna beat his ass with the shelf. No, come on, divorce. What is OP's question? How to get away with murder? Because the elf would be so far up his behind. I'm divorcing and suing him for his son. Not for his, oh my gosh, for his son. Also, that's another thing, okay? Because Andy is her son with another man. I understand that it's a blended family and that Miles, the dad, has accepted Andy as his son, blah, blah, blah. But you fucking with another man's kid, bro. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? We have some edits. Let's read the edits. Edit. Hi, everyone. So the response has been really overwhelming. I'm sorry if it took me some time to answer. I was kind of avoiding the post since I was conflicted by the possible outcome. No, girl, you don't need to be conflicted. You're not the asshole. And your husband needs to be put in a facility because he's a bully. That's what he is. He's a bully. He's bullying your children. And that's weird. That's really weird. That's really weird. I don't like that at all. Sorry, let me finish. I'm going through all your comments so I can answer some of your questions. I'd also explain things that explain things you all have you have questions about that are in common. I edited that sentence because I don't understand it. 1, Andy's dad is from Canada. He visits Andy every spring, summer, and on Christmas break. This year he stayed home for his job, so he isn't an absent parent. Okay, so again, you're bullying somebody else's child. I would have to kill this man, bro. 2, after Andy's birthday, I told Miles to get out of the house. Yes, sis. And so he did. He spent Christmas with my in-laws and I stayed with the kids. And all of them slept in Andy's room. Oh, my kids didn't want to leave their brother alone. Oh. The next morning we opened the gifts and I made sure that Andy could feel special after what happened on his birthday. So I wrote a note from Bob saying that he is sorry if he scared him and his siblings. He didn't do his job correctly, so now he would be flying back to the North Pole with Santa. And when he asked Santa if he still remembered the kid of Christmas, he did. Santa was really happy to see him. She's a great mom. What a good mom. 3, my kids and I are okay. We are sleeping at my parents' house and we will celebrate New Year's Eve here too. And 4, yes, Claire was using the onesie while she was sleeping. My husband took the idea from a TikTok. And no, Andy did nothing wrong to even be attacked by Bob. So you're sitting here, you're telling me that he had scissors around his sleeping 5-year-old, cut holes in the clothes she was wearing, bro. Because she touched a doll? Because she touched a doll? This isn't even bullying anymore. This is abuse. It's abuse. It's like a psychological abuse. I can't even feel safe sleeping in my home where I'm supposed to feel the safest because my dad's going to come in here and cut holes in my pajamas because I touched a doll. I'm fuming, bro. Now there's holiday trauma. No, for real. Like, Christmas is never going to be the same again, because remember that time we had an elf and he cut holes in my little sister's pajamas and he ate half of my cake on my birthday and he drew with a Sharpie on my brother's face in the nighttime. She let it go too far. I don't want to blame her. Okay, it's not her fault. It's not her fault. It's not her fault. But the fact that she didn't shut this shit down after he drew on the baby's face with a marker, a permanent marker at that, not a kid's washable marker, which still wouldn't have been cute to me, but at least it would have been something that comes off easily. A permanent fucking marker on my 9-year-old's face. I don't think I'm ever getting married. I'm not going to do it because you couldn't pay me to trust somebody around my kids when the person that I'm married to, who I thought I knew and understood, could act like this. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I refuse. Let's read some comments. First comment, not the asshole, but Jesus, there's something wrong with your husband. No, for real. Swear to God. He wanted Andy to do something wrong so he could punish him. Things like destroying their clothes is not a prank, it's a punishment. Your husband is hazing your children. Hazing your children. She's 5. The next comment says he destroyed a 5-year-old's favorite pajamas because she touched a doll. That's what I said. That's not punishment. It's bullying. The next comment says asterisk abuse. That's not bullying. It's abuse. This is what we said, chat. Okay. This is what we were saying as well. This comment says, yeah, these are things that can actually traumatize a young child. What kind of father delights in tormenting their own children? Not the asshole, but are you sure you want to stay married to someone like this? And someone replied to the part of the comment that says, what kind of father delights in tormenting their own children with, don't forget, reducing the birthday of the kid that isn't his. Sorry. Yeah. Don't forget reducing the birthday of the kid that isn't his because it runs into Christmas and isn't fair to the others. Not the asshole, OP, but you should consider divorce. Your husband gets off on children's tears. Ugh. Somebody replied to that and said, that's the key part. He did the extreme punishment, destroying the cake, to her kid, not his own. And that was how I felt as well. All right, this one I haven't read yet. Am I the asshole for giving my daughter a better present than my son? Our son is 22 and our daughter is 26. She bought a house in July, and we know what moving into a new home always comes with unexpected costs. Sorry, let me try that again. We know that moving into a new home always comes with unexpected costs right after you've probably depleted most of your funds. So for Christmas, we gave her $4,000. Our son, we gave a few different gifts totaling somewhere around $800. Our daughter had to work Christmas, but we did Christmas on the 26th, and she stayed with us for the holidays from then until yesterday. Our son still lives with us, and today he told us both that he didn't want to say anything while his sister was here, but his feelings were hurt by the disparity in the value of the gifts. We explained that the gifts we got him were tailored to his interests, but his sister had just passed a big life milestone where money is more important to her right now than sentiment. He said it's still hurtful because it feels like we are more proud of her than him. Oh, I feel this. My wife got really frustrated when he said that and asked why he would choose the least charitable interpretation of our actions. Oh, I have a lot to say about this. He said that's just how he felt and he couldn't control it. I said that we didn't give her money. I said that we didn't give her money because we were more proud, but because we had experienced being new homeowners and knowing that something always breaks in the first 6 months and it's always expensive. He said that was all fine and good, but it still hurt to get a worse present and feel like an afterthought. My wife asked if he expected us to get him $4,000 worth of gifts. He said no, but he expected the gifts between him and his sister to be equal. My wife said that's the same thing, and my son said it isn't. He said we could have given her the monetary equivalent of what we gave him. I told him that isn't really fair for him to decide how much we spend on someone else's gift. Furthermore, cash is less personal than gifts, so giving her a cash equivalent to what he got would be her getting the worst gift. But you just said, okay. I said we weren't listening. He said we weren't listening to him, just justifying. My wife said we didn't need to justify anything, and he was getting entitled. At that point, he said he didn't want to talk unless everyone was civil, and he went to his room. He skipped lunch today, and he left for work. He skipped lunch today, and when he left for work, he didn't say goodbye, even though I was right by the door. My wife is irritated, and my son is clearly resenting us. I can't really decide if we're in the wrong here. On one hand, we should be able to give our money to whoever we want. On the other hand, I never want to hurt my son's feelings. Where are we in the wrong? I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that first. Son needs to deal with it. Okay. I don't know if I can focus on this new. Okay. Boy, be grateful you got something at all. Yeah, which is why. Oh my gosh. Marky, hush. Okay, that point about the cash being worse was just stupid. Right, because he said we gave her $4,000 and it's just cash. It's not a sentiment. She doesn't care about sentiment right now. She just needs the cash. We actually put thought into your gifts. So it's equal. If we had just given her $800, she would have gotten the worst gift. Boy, if you don't, I think that I disagree with y'all. I see y'all saying, be happy that you got anything at all, and I'm with that. Like, I don't think that he's being ungrateful personally. I think, one, he came to his parents with his feelings, and his parents are being dismissive about his feelings. Regardless of what his feelings are about, he's not being heard, and that's a problem in and of itself. Also, there was something in here really set me off. Hold on. The thing about him feeling like they were more proud of her than they were of him. That's a real feeling. He's 22 and she's 26. First of all, they're both still really young. She just bought a house though. And I don't know what his situation is, but I've been in a situation where I feel like everyone around me is doing much better than me and they're getting a lot more attention from my family because of it. And as a result, I feel like a failure. And I realize that that's a me thing. Okay, that's not nobody else should have like nobody else's light should have to be dim in order for mine to shine. I understand that. But also, if everybody else's light is shining, sometimes I feel like mine doesn't need to be on, and other people are not looking at mine because there are so many other bright ones. So I understand his feelings. He's allowed to feel his feelings. We're tussling over $800 right now, which, money is a thing that means different things to a lot of different people. Okay. Y'all might be seeing $800 and being like, boy, if you don't shut up. But also, they gave his sister $4,000. So it doesn't seem like money is the issue here. It seems like the disparity is the issue here. So let's concentrate on that for a second. He's coming to his parents and saying, hey, it feels like you love her more than me. It feels like you're prouder of her than you are of me. And that's why my gift feels like an afterthought in comparison to hers. And his parents are saying, wow, look at you looking at the most. Hold on, let me find the line. I can't find it, but it was something like the mom said, why would you take the most uncharitable interpretation of the gift that we gave you? And it's like, that's not hard, because I'm looking at the gift that you gave her. And yeah, mine does seem like an afterthought. It seems like it was not the most charitable interpretation. I mean, it seems like it was not the most charitable because hers was. You feel me? The part about him not being heard by his parents is the part that bothers me the most, especially for his dad at the end to be like, I never want to hurt my son's feelings. But not only did you hurt his feelings, he then came to you with his feelings and you shut him down. So you hurt his feelings twice. So what did he learn from this situation? One, he now has the feeling that he is less than his sister. And two, he now has the understanding that if he comes to you with his feelings, he's not going to be heard. So not only do you not care about him monetarily compared to his sister, but you also don't care about his feelings. This whole situation is fucked up. You can't be mad at someone else's money. I don't think he's mad that she got the money. I think he's mad that he got so much less. The son works, the son does. Yes, the son has a job. I would stop Christmas, honestly, full stop, to be honest. Yeah, and that was my other thought. Okay, so Christmas is Christmas, you don't show favoritism on Christmas. And I realized that maybe this wasn't favoritism. They didn't mean it to come across as favoritism, but I can see how it is. Apparently the son can see how it could be seen as favoritism. So why not just give them both? If you're going to get him $800 worth of gifts, give her $800 in cash on Christmas. And then 2 days after Christmas, take her out to dinner and give her a check for $1,200 or for $3,200 for $3,200 and say, hey, this is a housewarming gift. Why put it on Christmas? That's the part. You know that he's there. My grandmother used to give me money for Christmas all the time. And I have two little cousins who are much younger than me. Okay. The middle one is 8 years younger than me. And then the other one is much younger than that. So by the time I had stopped getting like toys and stuff for Christmas, I used to have great Christmases. Okay. Santa used to come to my home. Okay. And run it up. But by that time I was no longer getting toys. Like I was getting money. I wanted to go shopping for myself. So my grandmother would always give me money, but she would always make sure that there was something under the tree for me to open, like present wise. so that when the little ones were opening presents, I didn't feel left out. And I never did. Like, it was never a big deal to me because I knew that I was finna go blow some bands, okay? They weren't bands, but I knew that I was finna go blow a coin later, in the store. I wasn't worried about opening a gift, but she made sure that it was equal, okay, between the three of us. That's all I'm saying. Is Christmas is a special time. So why do it on Christmas when you could do it 2 days later? You could have done it 2 days ago, but you did it in front of the son that you only gave not even half, okay? Like a quarter, less than a quarter of what you gave her. That's fucked up. No, I'm gonna disagree with you, chat. I'm gonna disagree with you. See, 4K and 800 is a big difference. It is. It's a huge difference. I wonder if he would complain if they randomly gave her an extra 3,200 randomly and not Christmas related. This is what I'm saying, Missy Tiffy, because I think that would have been, and also they could have done it not in his face. They could have done it not in his face. Okay, let me say that again. They could have done it not in his face. And he even had the wherewithal because he didn't want to make his sister feel bad about it. See, that's how I'm feeling about it. It's not about her money. He waited until she left and said, Mom, Dad, I feel a type of way about this. I feel like he's the most mature person in the situation other than the sister because she really ain't have nothing to do with this. Maybe I'm just being an eldest child. I don't have siblings, so I do have 2 little cousins who were around as much as little siblings. As a second child who was always told to be more like the eldest, I get it. Christmas also isn't about monetary gifts. For this family, it seems like it is, though. It might not have been about monetary gifts for you. It might not be about monetary gifts in the grand scheme of things for what you have, for what your idea of Christmas is. But for this family, okay, they made a point. Dad wrote this and made a point to say we got him gifts totaling somewhere around $800 and we gave our daughter a $4,000 check. So for them, it is. I kind of feel like this wasn't the first disparity, though. If they're dismissive of his feelings here, they've been more dismissive before, especially for him to be like, I don't want to talk about it unless we can be civil. That makes me feel like there have been multiple times where it went left, Why do they need to coddle their male child who is an adult because they're helping their daughter child who just bought a house? Their daughter child is also an adult. So I'm not sure what the male child who is an adult part has to do with anything. Adults have feelings too, Mark, for real. In my opinion, it seems like it's about the money. It's about the disparity between the money. In his case, I think the parents' reasoning for the disparity is solid, but I would be pissed if later when I bought a house, they didn't give me 4K. Okay, I feel that too. The 4K part. I don't know. His parents' reasoning for the disparity is not solid, but also it didn't need to be in his face is the part that I'm saying. It's not bad that her parents helped her. I'm not saying it is. Why did they have to help her in his face on Christmas while giving him a lot less? Why couldn't they do it 2 days later? Why couldn't they have done it when she bought the house at the signing, giving her a check for 4K? Why'd they do it on Christmas in his face? He doesn't seem upset with his sibling, though. No, he made the point to wait until she had left. Let's read the comments. First comment says, you're the asshole for doing this at Christmas. I need to start leaving comments on Reddit because apparently I know what I'm talking about. I'm the youngest of 4 siblings. My oldest sister is 10 years older than me. We definitely reached milestones at different times. Things like wedding money, housewarming gifts and money, graduation gifts obviously came at different times for each of us and were not tied to the group holidays like Christmas. You could have given your daughter an $800 check. This is exactly what I said. You could have given your daughter an $800 check for Christmas and a $3,200 check for closing on the house at a different time in a different setting. Then you could tell your son, we will be so excited to give you a gift of money to help you out when you buy your first home. Instead, now it's a very disproportional Christmas gift, which is sure to raise some jealousy. Another comment says, also, there was a clear invalidation of the son's feelings. He sounded like he was being very respectful and brought up valid points as to why he was feeling a certain way. Instead of being open about the whole situation, you started gaslighting. It's a good way to stop your kid from wanting to approach you about things in the future, period. Last comment. Of course, they don't want their son to express his feelings unless he's being always grateful and compliments them. If he has something slightly negative to say, he's an ungrateful, spoiled brat, at least in his mother's eyes. I feel like this is speaking to my experience. Honestly, the son sounded the more mature in this situation. That's what I said. He waited for his sister to leave. That's what I said before approaching the situation, and left the conversation when the mom started verbally abusing him. The parents could have kept the difference, $3,200 in a savings account, and if the daughter needed it, they could give it to her. They could just give it to her on a different day. I already bought a house 3 times and never had bad things happen that tanned my experience. Okay, that's your experience though, sis, because houses are hard. They're very difficult, actually. I don't want to talk about it. It's called budgeting for the house. You don't buy a house without having some extra on the side for some. Okay, see, and now you're being it's giving elitist, and I'm not here for that. I don't want that. I don't want that. So it seems like we're split on this one, chat, because I'm thinking yes, the asshole, and at least Marky was very much a no, not the asshole, actually. All right, last one. Am I the asshole for skipping New Year's Eve at my child-free sister's house? Off the bat, no, but let's get some context. Because y'all not gonna stress me over my money. Fair. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Last week I hosted Christmas for my family. I, 33 male, have a 2-year-old with my wife. Every year it's at my sister's, parents, or my house, and it rotates. One of us hosts Thanksgiving, one of us hosts Christmas, and one of us hosts New Year's. In the last year, my sister, who is vocally child-free, got a dog. I love my sister, but we are very much opposites. When I had my kid, it changed our relationship a bit. She tolerates, her words, my son. She has never watched him, and I've never asked her to. My son is present at all family functions, and this annoys my sister. My sister has turned into your classic dog mom. The world revolves around her dog. I do not own dogs, and I really don't want to be around dogs. I don't want them in my house. Well, my sister wanted to bring her dog to Christmas, and I said no. It's well trained and overall an okay dog. I just didn't want it in my house or even in my yard. She complied and left it alone, but was not happy about it and let me know several times. The day before New Year's Eve, she told me kids weren't welcome at her house. Okay, sister's petty. She's petty. She's Petty LaBelle. I was taken aback by this and asked why. She said alcohol would be present. We all drink at family functions, and family friends also come to the party. And just said it wouldn't be appropriate for a 2-year-old to be present. My wife and I planned to only stay until 10 anyway, and then would go home because of our kid. We reconsidered and opted to not go at all, and respected my sister's wishes by keeping the kid at home. I let her know I let her know a half hour before the party started. Wife and I treated it like any other night. We didn't stay up until midnight. By 11, I noticed I had missed calls from her, but I didn't answer. I fell asleep while texts started coming in, calling me an asshole, calling me a dog hater, saying it was rude that I didn't come to the party, said it was bullshit that she got my kid a Christmas present, but that I didn't get her dog anything. The list goes on. She was clearly drunk. I tried to call her. She didn't answer, and I got a text saying, "I'm not answering, asshole." So, Reddit, am I the asshole? Half an hour is generous because I just would have not shown up. I'd also lose a sister that day. I think, so I have dogs, okay? And I care a lot about my dogs. I do not, however, think that my dogs are more important than children. I'm just going to say that, okay? I love my dogs so much, all my animals. I love my animals so much. But I would not expect that because I got your kid a gift, that you get my goat a gift. I would not expect that because I asked to bring my goat to your house and you said that your house is goat free, that you not bring your kid to my house because my house is kid free. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. A half hour is not a lot of time, okay? Whatever. But like, also, did you need to tell her you weren't coming into New Year's Eve party? Did she have it catered? Like, were there seats? She was going to have plates served and there was a plate reserved for you and now it was a waste of money? Your sister just seems a bit unhinged, okay? Just a bit unhinged. Swear to God, not the asshole. I would have never called. And no, not the asshole. A dog can be home by itself. It's a motherfucking 2-year-old. Hit her with the car. Queen Auntie, please.